So I'm pretty excited about that.
So that's your
Yeah,
recorder
online
document
recordings and
access.
stuff.
Does that allow people to purchase maps online then?
Maps,
Download them?
documents,
Oh.
deeds, yeah, everything. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where we kind of need a little help. That's what the $30,000 request is
Mhm.
in there, as well as we need to really try to advance that. The contract that we used was COVID contract, and it has been a delay since day one to try to
Yeah.
get everything up to date. But we need some help.
We need the pros. We need the pros to come in, and they can get it done in 3 months.
The training
So,
that we anticipated was really click, click, click. Here you go.
yeah,
And we
it
need
wasn't.
a little bit more for our staff down there so that we can manage that according to how all of the other counties are already managing theirs.
Yeah.
And so, but we can look at some of the ARPA funds to help us out with
Well, I hope that
some of those
I hope
items.
that this online thing will be as successful as they predict it will.
It is everywhere.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
not here. We don't have it yet.
Yeah.
We use them. They come in and pay that access fee to the
Right.
system, but that was also the system where the ransomware came in
Sure.
as well.
And it
so-
crashes every other
and it
week.
crashes every week, every day, probably.
Every day. And
And
it's so
so-
limited. I can only do like 20 users on that one. This one will allow anybody
Everybody
to
throughout the
go
state.
in.
Mhm.
And the great thing is we got to be the guinea pig. So we didn't have to pay any of the setup fees. They're experimenting on us.
Yeah.
And so we got a really good deal.
But with a good deal comes delays and everything else. So we just
Yeah.
need to get a little bit better at that, and so we'll work on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Cindy?
Just a
Jamie?
comment. I support the professional development technical training request.
Thank
I
you.
think every department should have that
Yeah.
to strengthen our leaders in each department. So, yeah,
Thank you.
for sure.
Well, I just want to thank you for all you guys do. Your departments seem to have been a little bit busy with
We are.
lots of registration lately, so that's busy is good for everyone, but we want to thank you.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate it.
think we need to get set up for a commission meeting.
We
right?
do.
Okay.
So we need,
All right,
Thank you,
thank you.
Cindy.
so that we get this back to you for tomorrow?
At 12:30, or whenever the commission meeting ends, we're gonna start again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going all day and maybe tonight.
Well, I'm for it. At least I had company. I used it by myself.
With the commission.
Right behind you are the commission books.
Okay.
Bring your sheets.
Hey,
Yeah,
We're working on winterizing all of the water system down there at the fairgrounds.
Did you run it from this?
And,
I got a call on Bill.
oh, did you?
Yeah,
You
he
just
wants to
read me,
know
find out last night.
what do we want to do?
Or when I called Commissioner, he said, we're not having a morning meeting. So I thought we had one, so last night, about 9.
So I'm just gonna tell him we can't provide it. Okay.
Well, thank you.
There's that book.
Okay. All right.
Switching books.
I haven't called him back.
So
I
you're
haven't called
coming
him
in.
back, but I will.
Be careful.
Oh, man, I should have.
The other question I have is.
Baño.
step up and help.
Yeah, mostly, if you do this, building up.
It's gonna be in the papers. So,
Tomorrow comes out.
It comes out tomorrow?
Yep, but thus far, it's been with that, company out of Salt Lake that's,
Yeah.
and we've taken it back from them.
Yeah,
We just
okay.
haven't.
Well, I'd sure like to see maybe somebody get that bid. We're working on this, these fall months.
Yeah.
So you're
Yep.
on top of it?
Yep.
I'll tell Sorensen that he's just gonna have to run someplace else. He can, maybe he can figure out a way to go over the road department or something, I don't know. Use the restroom, the vet.
Oh yeah, he could use the road department's
I don't,
facilities.
I don't
there.
know
That's
about the
probably
Lions
easiest.
Club building, if they, I have
It's
no
not
idea what
open
the
all the time.
it is
Yeah.
with the Lions
And
Club,
so
Well, that's a good answer.
so,
We
yeah.
don't wanna have to go through
that mess.
next
like
year
last
what we had to
year.
go through this year.
I don't wanna,
Kara
agree.
said it was so bad in there.
Yeah.
You
I'm the guy that cleaned it,
Oh, man.
so it,
it's rough.
Yeah, you'll just tell him he's gotta go someplace else. Yeah.
I sent, or I asked the state library to send you a grant for signature that you guys, that the commission approved last commission meeting. Did you see an email? And it's just like a DocuSign.
I did, and I signed it.
And then, oh, okay, so did
But
you
I,
get
but
an
I
email?
don't, I've been having trouble with those online signings.
Okay, so did you sign like an e-document or was
Yeah.
it like a?
Yeah,
Did you get that? It should have gone to you next.
I got one that said it was completed,
yeah.
but I don't know if it was signed by Commissioner Adams. I saw one that Mac had signed.
It was just recent, like it was just for a small hotspot one for like $3,000.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it must have been that one because that's the only one I sent.
Yeah.
I've been dependent.
I have to sign some
Yeah,
CDBG
no, that's
and
fine. I wonder if it's
other
easier.
things from the AOG, but I signed one
Okay,
just
they've
either
just been
last
really
night or-
pressuring me to get,
The DocuSign.
get a DocuSign
Uh-huh.
because it makes, I guess it's easier for them.
It's encrypted.
Oh, yeah, let me
So-
see.
Okay, I'll ask them to follow up on that. Did it even allow you to sign it or did you get?
I didn't even open it because I read in the title that it had been signed.
I think it had to be signed by him and then the fiscal officer
Okay.
by.
The one I saw was only me.
Okay, and then, okay. Alright, I'll go follow up on it and see. Lyman,
Is this
you
it?
don't mind-
Yeah, let me sign in and see if I can find the document.
let me see it.
Can't read it. Turn it this way. Then you can get it a little
A little
big.
bit bigger.
Okay, here it is.
Hey, Larry, can you hear us?
You don't think that's
I
the
don't
one?
think that's it.
If you can hear us, go ahead and unmute
The
yourself.
last one I signed.
So you probably had a couple.
Just testing our audio to make sure that we're live. Oh, hey, there you go. So you can hear us?
I'll keep looking.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you as well. Good morning, Larry. How are you?
That's good. I've survived Salt Lake this morning already.
Perfect. You survived the eclipse and everything,
Is
so
this one yours?
give us just a second and we'll get going here on this meeting.
All right, thanks, Mac.
Might you have yours?
Which one's whose? Mac? Is this one yours?
Yeah.
And this one mine?
Yep. Folders up here. Do you want me to set yours back there?
Let's just put mine this way.
Okay.
Thanks, Tammy.
And I said that you might have an idea. Not want it.
Recognize you.
Yeah, it would
Not
add-
in concrete. And
they would.
Let's
Yeah, I've been signing a bunch of stuff,
Yeah,
those e-documents, and
I don't like them because we don't track them. We can't track them. We never get them back. And so, if you
see,
want, you can
this is
send them to
please
me.
sign
And
San Juan County State Funding Award. I don't know what it is, so
send them to me.
I go on there. And
I don't think it would.
so it says resume, saying I signed it.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what the damn thing is, to be honest.
Usually, I get those.
It
We
says,
just stamp
Dear
them.
Amber MacArthur, this has something to do with
So
38
that one we signed in commission.
victims of milk,
Yeah.
victims
That was on-
services program,
That was the last commission meeting we had that. So,
so I signed that one.
okay.
Send it on. But I don't know if I ever saw the one that Nicole's talking about here.
Wi-Fi, it'd be a
Adobe
Wi-Fi grant.
sign. Yeah, this is CDBG. That one goes to AOG.
Yeah, that's different. I don't know about that one.
And the,
You can forward them to me if you want. I can look at them, match them
there's
with what.
another Adobe. This is all AOG stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
About 3 of those a week.
So,
Because they have so much. of that
yeah,
kind of
it's the money.
Lyman,
especially on
are
CDBG
we
stuff.
ready to start?
Have you hit record, Lyman, on those?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're.
Yeah, we apologize. We're a little late getting started. We've been in budget meetings this morning, and it takes us a minute to get set up. And so we have Jamie and Sylvia and myself here, Mac and Lyman and Peter, all here this morning. We welcome those in the audience. We have a large audience today. We have five people. So we welcome everybody here to our commission meeting. We begin our commission meeting with an invocation, which we offer the public a chance to participate in, and then I'll lead us in the pledge. Is there anyone that wants to offer an opening prayer candle? You can make it short. Okay.
Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for the opportunity we have to be here to participate in the government of and the governance of San Juan County. I ask you to please help us to think clearly and everyone look out for the best interests of all of San Juan County and those who reside here and those who come here and those who work here. And we ask you to please bless those who are protecting our safety, law enforcement, military, EMS, those who are out taking care of others, that they will be watched over, protected as well. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Now you won't have to stay for budget meeting. Everybody rise and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Do we, I don't know if the commissioners have had a chance to look. Do you need to sign any conflict of interest disclosures today
No?
based on the agenda? Okay. Next on our agenda is our public comment. We have a sign-up sheet here, or you can raise your hand online if you want to make a public comment. Mac will time you. You have 3 minutes to make your public comment, and nobody in the room, nobody online. So we'll move on from that to our consent agenda. Our consent agenda is most of our agenda. Is that right, Mac? No, it's a bit. It's only 4
There's
items.
only 4 items.
Okay, you want to go through those?
Betcha. We got the approval of the October small purchases of $3,350 for correction safety restraint chair. Got $10,096 for public health computers. That was received on a grant funding, and then you've got $2,295 for the sheriff's drug testing and ammunition supplies, which will also come from a grant fund. You have the approval of the September 29th, 2023 to October 13th, 2023 check registers, approval of the October 3rd, 2023 commission meeting minutes, and approval of the October 3rd, 2023 commission work meeting minutes. And that is your consent
Okay.
agenda for today.
Do we have a motion to approve those items on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Sylvia,
I'll second.
second by Jamie. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. We're now down to item number 5, Mac.
So on this one here, you have consideration and approval of the appointment of Dr. Shannon Brooks to the San Juan County Library Board. He lives here in Monticello and kind of represent that area. You do have the letter of recommendation from the chair of the library board. The library board considered this 2 library board meetings ago and approved the appointment recommendation for you.
Is that pretty much a ratification then?
No, we
have to
you
make the
have to
appointment.
approve the board
Okay.
members.
So do we have a motion to approve Dr. Shannon Brooks to the library board?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Sylvia,
I'll second.
second by Jamie. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Number 6,
So similar fashion, consideration and approval of the appointment of Barry Lee Woolley to the San Juan County Library Board.
okay, do we have a motion?
Motion. Can I
Motion by Jamie,
I'll second.
a second by Sylvia. Further discussion?
Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
What's Miss Barry, whose community is he representing?
Who does he represent, Nicole?
Landing area.
Blanding?
Right now, we don't have anyone.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Awesome. That completes our library board for all of the vacancies and positions that we advertised in the paper. So we're glad to get them all on board and off and running.
Okay, on number 7, consideration approval of Van Austin to the Economic Development Board. I'd like to recommend that we table this motion today. I'm not sure that she qualifies under a business owner. I'd like to do a little further in depth. So, Elaine, if you don't mind, I'd like to make a recommendation that we table this one for another meeting. Okay, do we have a motion to table?
I'll make a motion to table.
Okay.
I'll second.
We have a motion by Sylvia to table, a second by Jamie. Further discussion? I think there's some pretty specific rules about who should sit on the Economic Development Board, and so I think we need to do a little more in-depth into that one. So,
We could advertise in the paper as well for some of these at-large positions.
yeah, I think we ought to.
Typically, we do advertise all of the vacancies. This is one that we have not, so we can
Okay.
go through that advertisement just to make sure that we're broadcasting that net further
Okay.
for these positions.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Number 8, Mac.
Okay.
Oh, it's Tammy, I'm sorry.
So
I should have known.
consideration and
me.
approval of a resolution of San Juan County adopting the San Juan County multi-jurisdictional all-hazard mitigation plan.
That was a mouthful.
It was.
So you have the resolution in your book. We've been working on this since 2022. It is replacing our current mitigation plan. We have to renew it every 5 years. And this year we have all 3 of the 2 cities in Blufftown included in our plan. And it's gone through state review and FEMA review. So it is ready for adoption by each one of those entities.
We didn't attach the plan. The plan is huge.
It's about 400 pages long.
So it's not attached to here, but also in your emergency operations, you really don't want that information out to the public so that, especially if you looked at Homeland Security, you don't want people knowing our operations in an emergency. And so.
Okay.
The fact that we've got FEMA approving it helps us get.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
It
Do you have a
goes-
motion to approve?
Motion.
Motion by Jamie,
I second.
second by Sylvia. Further discussion?
Just to request, Chair, maybe a digital copy so we can continue reviewing, and maybe just a reminder: do not disperse to the public would be good.
Okay.
So
I will get you a copy as soon as FEMA gives us the final. So,
awesome.
okay.
I haven't got time to read 480 pages.
It took me a long time to read almost 400 pages, and
I can't even read the Bible.
even.
So. Okay. Okay, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. I have a question, and this question is going to be a little bit out of order, but I'm going to use my power as a chair to ask both you and Elaine if you could give us just a 2-minute update on the eclipse and how much emergency we had to provide.
So you want that in between these? I'm just clarifying. 2 minutes. We had almost 90 responders. We had 4 posts where those were located at within the area. Law enforcement. So we had sheriff's office, UHP. We had the UHP helicopter. We had UNHS clinic providing their clinic and their EMS as well. REMS, fire, partners from all over the state. We had 2 incidences. One was just very minor that needed EMS, and it wasn't even related to anything there. And the other was a wreck on Hurrah Pass. So a lot of the 10 months worth of planning that we did, I could say we didn't have any incidences for the eclipse. So we felt like it was very successful. The one issue we had, we brought down a lot of comms, 800 towers for the radios, and we brought in CRDs. They call them cows, cellulars on wheels. The AT&T FirstNet, those failed right out of the gate. They brought in 3. They had one here on Thursday. It didn't work. They had one on Friday. It didn't work. They brought one down Friday night, and it didn't work. So we found out that doesn't work. And 800 didn't work, and we had to revert back to VHF on the fly. It was just really quickly, let's move to this channel on VHF. So VHF saved us. So
Was there any highway incidents? Was there a large amount of traffic? Were the UHP dealing with problems?
So we did have a lot of traffic. It started Thursday, went Thursday and Friday. Didn't see a lot Saturday until up to the event. And you've seen a lot of just single car traffic that day. And it stopped about the time the eclipse started, and then it geared back up after the eclipse. As far as traffic leaving the event on Saturday, it was not heavy. Like, it was more than normal, but not really heavy. The most traffic that we seen was like the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday or Sunday, Monday. A lot of people that came in brought campers, and they camped. When UHP did a flyover of the site as they were coming in, everything up top, Fry Canyon, Muley Point, Valley of the Gods, all of it was full with dispersed camping. Anywhere there was a 2-track, there was a car off the side of the road with a camper. So they came in 2 days before, they left 2 days after. So could have been a lot worse. From what I'm hearing in Richfield, they showed up the day of, they left the day of. So they had a mass exodus in, mass exodus out, and we kind of had it dispersed through 4 days.
So, Elaine, you reported that you thought there was nearly 500 people at Goosenecks.
Yeah, Goosenecks was busy, but Chris Hansen, the park manager, did a fantastic job of preparing. And we started working on the eclipse, my office, in 2022 in January. So we had over a year and almost 18 months of planning and that we started, and we brought in all the communities, Bluff, Blanding, Monticello participated at the beginning, but then not at the end. And we worked with the BLM and all the land agencies to the national parks to make sure that we were prepared. We did work directly with Chris Hansen at a state park at Goosenecks, and he had food trucks out there. There was a line. Let's see, I left Monticello at 5 a.m. and as I was leaving and driving down to Goosenecks, every flat space had an RV or people tent camping on it. Allison from our office went down the night before, and she said it was extremely busy. They closed Valley of the Gods for camping because it was full. They also had NASA live. They were broadcasting live from Valley of the Gods, which is really great for us, for people to see and get that exposure of the area and how beautiful it is. So I thought everything went very smoothly. On my way down, I didn't see a lot of traffic. I think we were prepared as a county, and I would say that any other event that we're looking forward to coming into San Juan County, that if we start with that 18-month window and we get all the departments involved and all the agencies involved, we were ready. We were ready for, I think, just about anything to happen. So, and it was a good thing because we were trying to protect the visitors that were coming, people not familiar with the area. We did an announcement on the local radio station, and he was playing that several times. We had the BLM there. We did a public a press release in the newspaper and social media posts. I mean, we really tried to cover all of our bases, and Tammy did an excellent job of coordinating everything from her department. So I would have to say, and I sent the entire list of everything up to UOT so they know and knew what we were doing as a county. But I think our preparation so far in advance really assured us that we were ready for whatever they might throw at us. So,
yeah.
But I thought everybody we had visitors at Goosenecks from all over the world, from Italy, from Denmark, from a lot of people from the Bay Area, people that drove up that morning from Page, Arizona, a lot of them in Kayenta that stayed. So they came to Goosenecks, and it was really nice to see that. Mexican Hat did a great job. They had T-shirts printed up, about the eclipse. So the communities really got involved, and I think it was amazing. So it'd be nice if we could have one of those like every year.
Well, I did get a report from Grand County Commissioner that there was over 100 people at the trailhead of Cottonwood down just inside of Dugout Ranch that were down in that area. So that was kind of surprising. I had 11 people on my front porch at my house, and mostly my family that came from northern Utah down for an event. But they said the traffic when they came and left was pretty light.
Yeah, traffic was not an issue this time. And in my meetings yesterday, they updated your numbers to 1,000 in Goosenecks.
Oh, they did? Awesome.
1,000 in Goosenecks, and we're anticipating 6,000 to 10,000 dispersed.
It was very orderly.
Yeah.
I thought very.
That's kind of what we're looking at, about 6 to 10,000.
If they got their 20,000.
I don't think so. I don't think it was. It was not as hectic as we planned, but the planning was good.
I have to say, our highway patrol and our sheriff's department
They
did
were
an
amazing.
awesome job. I mean, when I pulled up to get into Goosenecks, that whole corner was lit up with like all their lights and everything going. It was, I mean, they were out there full
put on a
force
show, huh?
everywhere. And then yesterday I was driving down to Monument Valley, and there are still people at Valley of the Gods, still people, dispersed camping out there, and a lot of people down in Monument Valley. So there are a lot of them. Hopefully that's what we wanted them to come and stay a few
Spend
days.
a dollar or two.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Well, we appreciate both of you and all the county departments that prepared for this event. I know that it was well advertised, and it came off just spectacular. There was no clouds.
No,
It was just
It got
Wonderful.
cold.
I have had a request from our insurance company. If you have any leftover eclipse glasses, they'd like to have some for the next one, just in.
Okay.
In April.
Texas, we'll all have to go to Texas.
The next one is in April,
Yeah.
and the next one to cross Utah is
Yeah.
in 2045.
Yeah.
I just want to make a comment. One thing that we may not realize that may bring people back to San Juan County. Lots of people make friendships. I was with 4 friends yesterday, and they were sharing pictures that they were at the Centennial Park, and they met people from California, different places, and they were texting each other with pictures and hoping they can come back and visit their friends now, anyway. So I think that
We gave away a lot of marketing materials,
Yeah.
our travel guide and swag we had up at
Yeah.
Next. We gave a lot of that. And people did say they would come back. They didn't realize all that we have here. I think they were pretty well surprised.
Okay.
So,
Shocking that people out of the area didn't realize what we offer here.
I know.
All right, Tammy, sorry to interrupt you there.
No,
I just
you're fine.
thought that might be a good time to get a little update.
It's
James, you have any
perfect.
comments or any? Okay.
Yeah, just great job. I think worth celebrating, like the road department we did for. But awesome. Thank you so much.
We had some really great partners. I will just have to say a heartfelt thank you to all of them. We couldn't have done it without our state and local partners. They gave up what they were doing and came and helped us when we called for help. So they were awesome.
Well, obviously, the news media thought it was all happening in Richfield. They should have been down here, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had NASA, forget that.
We had NASA, so it's okay. All right.
So the next one on your agenda is item number 9, consideration and approval of the 2023 State Homeland Security Grant Program.
And this grant just allows us to supplement our program with equipment. Has to be FEMA approved equipment. It's pretty particular on what we buy, and there is no match, so all of that funding goes to it. We don't have
That's
to
the
do
whole
a match.
137. Wow.
That's the whole grant.
898.61.
So this, to give you an example, this is it helped. We pooled it for 3 years, and it helped buy our EOC that we're currently in.
Oh, good.
So it's a good program for emergency management.
Yeah, we like grants with no match.
We do too. So it is one of the only ones I have that has no
Yeah,
match.
I bet. Do we have a motion to approve the Homeland Security Grant Program?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sylvia,
I'll second.
second by Jamie. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. It is so nice to be able to say 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, commissioners. We'll see you in a bit.
Thank you so much for all you do and did and keep
Thanks.
doing.
That hasn't always been that way.
Well, I used to be crying, and while I was watching you here, you Mac at the giggle, and I thought, how can they
Yeah.
get the giggle sometimes?
I know.
I was just crying at home, thinking, oh my word.
Okay, Mac, you're up on number 10.
All right, you've got consideration and approval of a contract with Points Consulting LLC for $84,300 for a housing and community needs assessment for San Juan County. We went through the RFP process. They were awarded that. You had approved that on September 5th, and we've been working on the contract with them. We have that all finalized and acceptable for them. They will then begin working on the scope of work here this week. They wanted to start working on things overall. When this is all said and done, we will have a little bit more better understanding of kind of the housing needs. And in some of your discussions that I know you've had with other entities is, how do we project workforce housing when some of the operations, like Energy Fuels ramps up and hires a 30 employees. Well, where do they live? And so
Yeah.
this housing needs assessment will, from top to bottom, even the chapters in the Navajo Nation, give us a better insight of housing needs throughout the whole entire county.
What's the time period on that to be completed?
The timeline, April, if I remember right, it was April of 2024.
So by next year.
So April 30th, 2024.
Okay,
If I might add, the company does have experience.
you need to come up. You gotta get it on the
record.
recording. If we don't get it on the recording, then you won't be in the newspaper.
I just want to add that the Points Consulting has background. They've worked with the indigenous community in other areas because that is so important. That's the point of this assessment, is to be inclusive of the entire county.
Yeah.
And I think with their background, I wasn't on the selection committee, but I did read about them, and the fact that they have a relationship, they understand the indigenous community, that to me is very, very important. So I think they made the right choice in selecting Points Consulting.
Have you noticed how the Native American hogans, Jamie, are the precursor to the white man's yurt?
Mm-hmm. We're going backward now.
Yeah. Actually, if you ever gone to Mongolia,
Yeah, that's what they
they have the portable hogans.
Yeah.
We
Oh, wow.
just happened to go across the Bering Strait and create the permanent hogans.
go back. So that,
You gotta make a portable hogan.
Now they have Airbnbs and
Yeah,
everything.
that's true.
Yeah,
It's
Brandon.
awesome.
there used to be a person there around, Olchedo, around the mountain. Used to be a couple that created, it was an Inco couple that lived there. The Harris was the last name, and they had hogans. They
Oh,
used to rent them. I don't know if it is still there.
Still
or
do.
not.
Down there.
wow, that's awesome. Well, I'm really happy with our choice. So I think they'll be a good company. And
Yeah.
next year in 24 in April, I
with
think
all
we'll
that
be,
they're doing.
yeah. And the
Well,
fact,
anytime you do nothing, you gotta have planning and you gotta have an assessment,
well,
don't
and
you?
this will help us. I think the results from this assessment, and my goal was that we get this done because then we can look for support from the different foundations and organizations, and the state. We're going to, once they'll be sorry once we have these findings, because we'll be carrying this all over the
That's
state to show them what we need, what our needs are going forward with, especially with our companies like Energy Fuels and Lisbon Mine that are looking to expand employees, and we don't have housing. So, so in the future, this will help us with that development. But I hope that we'll be able to go, to the Olin Walker Fund and Community Rebuilds and everyone to share this information and let them know the outcome.
I think you need to create a space with a table in the book, lock the door, and charge people that want to find things out. You have so many minutes to look at the book for so much money.
We'll charge them by the minute. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve this request for this
motion.
contract with Point Consulting?
I'll motion, Chair.
Okay, motion by Jamie,
I'll second.
second by Sylvia. Further discussion? I think we've already had that. So all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye also. That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Number 11, Mac.
Consideration and approval of the updated lease agreement with Unified Fleet Services and Umpqua Bank Equipment Leasing and Finance for county leased vehicles. Since 2021, we've contracted with United Fleet Services for our annual leases on the vehicles. That's a pain. And so in all counties that they service, United Fleet Service, you typically see them at UAC, things like that. So they service multiple counties, state, and cities throughout the state of Utah. But it was only a 1-year lease program. So you imagine outfitting all of the sheriff vehicles with all the cages and that. And then at the end of the year, we got to turn them back in, re-outfit new vehicles. Sometimes they don't match up, and so you're buying new. I think last year on our budget we had $80,000 for just outfitting police package, and so this will allow unified to go to a 5-year lease. We won't participate in the 5-year, but at least a 3-year, to where we continue to make our lease payments, but we don't have to turn in the vehicles every year. And we'll go through and try to stagger some of these vehicles, so that we're not all of a sudden 20 vehicles at year 3, that we can have some on the 2-year program, some on that 3-year program. There's also the option at the end of that life cycle, like on similar other leases that we've entered into, to where we can pay the balloon payment and purchase those outright on there. And so, but typically, our leases on these are $7,000, $9,000 a year. I mean, that's pretty affordable compared to buying a new vehicle to the tune of $60,000 to $90,000 a year. So it saves us money overall, but we just want to make it a little bit more manageable in the end, and then just continue to lease. It keeps us in newer equipment, but it also reduces our maintenance costs. Some of our older fleet vehicles that we have now, as they get in and transmissions, motors, things like that, the maintenance is a little bit higher on these lease vehicles. We don't have that. We just kind of have the wear and tear costs that we go through. And so we won't anticipate getting into the 2026, 2027 numbers. We will turn those back in on year 3, so that we just continue the lease. Some of these rates may change in the future as vehicle availability and costs increase, but for now, this kind of fixes us for those years of the leases. Any questions?
The sheriff's department want to go to the electric yet?
Yeah. No, we support our mineral extraction here. So and we'll get into the batteries and high-end magnets later on. But
yeah,
part of the thing on here with these lease vehicles, when we do have grant opportunities to purchase outright, then we still do that. And this last year, we purchased the task force vehicle with grant funding. And so we still look for those opportunities to buy outright when money is backed through the grant. This avoids us having to come up with the revenue to purchase vehicles and drive them till the motor's blow.
Yep. Do you have a motion to approve the updated lease agreement with Unified?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Sylvia.
I'll second.
Second by Jamie. Further discussion? I think we've had it all. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye also. That's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Number 12, Nick.
Okay, this is
that right?
presentation and approval of Labyrinth, RIMS, Gemini, Bridges, BLM travel plan.
Yep.
This is a letter that will go to them.
Good morning. BLM recently signed a issued a decision record which approved a travel management plan for the Labyrinth, RIMS, Gemini Bridges area. And this plan would designate roads as either open or closed or open only for administrative uses. Now, this plan was advertised and all the news releases stated that all the lands included in this travel planning area were in Grand County. And evidently we're not aware that there's a strip of land in San Juan County within this travel management planning. This is a little strip of land north of the Island in the Sky district of the Canyonlands National Park. So we were not aware that San Juan County was involved in this planning process until just recently.
We weren't invited.
Yes, we were not aware. We were not invited. Yeah, and so we had no reason to look into this to see if we should be involved. So basically, that's an oversight. Of the 8 roads in San Juan County, 6 are to be closed and 2 are to remain open for public use. And I might just add that I believe roughly 6 of those roads actually begin in Grand County and moves and drives or transcends south into San Juan County, where they basically dead end on a rim or the national park boundary. Let's see. Now, the letter,
How many roads have been scheduled to be closed in Grand County?
I don't recall that
It's
figure.
on this map.
I think it's 491.
Is it on that map?
You have the closed roads
a
on
number?
here.
Do you know?
It doesn't
Kendall?
show the number.
So I know the mileage, it's 343 miles.
Yeah, something like.
Closed, and then was it 800 and some odd open?
Yeah, and of those 343, 114 miles are actually RS-2477.
Yeah.
RS-2477 routes.
And I guess, do we know yet, Kendall, whether the roads to be closed in San Juan County have RS-2477 claims?
So, if I remember right, 6 of them were claimed on the Grand County side, but for whatever reason, none of them are claimed once they cross over into San Juan.
None in San Juan.
Just another
Huh.
error, really, isn't it? They should be.
They should be. I mean, if the road was there prior to 76 in Grand County, then the last quarter of a mile or
Right.
half a mile was a problem.
Right.
Okay. So the letter before you also points out that it's a bit galling that recently Moab BLM invited Grand County to be a cooperating agency in the Bears Ears monument planning effort, and Grand County has no lands within the Bears Ears monument boundaries, but yet they've omitted San Juan County to be a cooperating agency in this travel planning effort, which includes lands in San Juan County. So basically, we want this letter to point out that fact to BLM so they can rectify it or whatever they want to do with it. But we will assert our right to manage the roads in our county. So we'll take a look at these roads and decide whether there should be any changes in this travel management plan. So that's basically the letter before you for your consideration.
So, again, it's a matter of jurisdiction. We manage San Juan County, and
I think we need to send a letter to Grand County notifying them
well, we're going to talk about that a little later.
we can grow up.
I'll talk about that in my report.
Okay.
But I think, I just think we need to have the playing field level. We're just asking for, the BLM to consider San Juan County for what we have, and we've been overlooked in this process, and so we want to point that out to them, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve Nick sending the letter?
I make a motion.
Motion by Sylvia,
I'll second.
second by Jamie. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for doing that work on that, Nick. Appreciate it.
All right, good.
Okay, next you have the Board of Equalization, so we need to make a motion to enter
Okay.
into Board of Equalization.
You have a motion to go into Board of Equalization.
Motion.
Motion by Jamie,
I second.
second by Sylvia. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Okay, Rick, we're ready for you.
Okay, on your agenda it says Randy Kelly, but Randy Kelly did approve some of these during our Board of Equalization processes. So we just want to present these. This will hopefully should be the last BOE we have this year. This will finalize everything. So everybody should have had their request in by September 15th. Looked at those requests, made the changes, talked to Randy Kelly, our Board of Equalization judge, and he approved some things and didn't approve other things, and so we're here today to ask for your final acceptance of
Where is
what we
the
have.
Lydia Subdivision LLC?
It is in Spanish Valley.
Spanish Valley?
Spanish Valley, and it actually does have some homes on it at this point, but on the drop dead date of January 1st, the lien date, it was just a vacant property.
Okay.
So we
So that you'll catch those up in the next
we will.
year.
They'll change back to the value we had them at. That's a
Okay,
nice-
and
very nice subdivision.
what is he
there.
recommending? I'm not reading fast enough.
For Lydia?
Yeah, the ones up above are to be approved. The ones below are still subject to
The ones below are subject to the change. The
subject
ones,
to a change. Okay.
the ones above is what we had $101,000 per quarter acre. And we're going to change that to $50,500 for a unimproved lot at a quarter acre.
Okay.
And so that was
You guys
good on that
have
one.
any questions or comments on these?
And you've got these others, the RGJ Golding Lodge
Oh, they're okay.
adjustment.
This is the Gouldings,
It says Goulding's Lodge. Hmm.
and what is it?
So it is a parcel of land. Let's see, how many acres have we got the acres? It's about 357 acres. I don't have the acres on here. What it is the mesa, it's the rock formation behind the lodge.
Okay.
So it's the rock formation. They actually had it's surveyed out, the parcel surveyed by Brad Bunker.
Okay.
And we looked at that and we looked at everything and we go like, oh my goodness, we are double taxed. We put the lodge and a lot of their commercial property onto this acreage. And it wasn't correct. So that $13 million
Value.
of value was incorrect. That $13 million was already on other parcels that they have subdivided. So we said, well, we got to take those out, and then we got to look at the acreage itself, and it's basically just a big rock is what it is. And so we want to propose the value of that acres, that 300 some odd acres at $275,000.
Is it buildable? You say it's up on the rock. Is it?
Well, it's the cliff behind,
Cliff in the backside.
and then the top of that mesa, and then it drops off to the back end.
little sliver back there, not a lot of.
I mean, you could build on anything if you have the money. I mean, that's
Gouldings feel about that. They're
This
glad to
came
get
at their request.
This is their request.
there is this a request. This is their
and
request.
Randy's
They
agreed with it.
what happened is we changed the designation of the land from farmland to commercial.
Okay.
And we're not going to change it back to farmland because it's not farmland.
Okay.
We're going to change it to vacant property, vacant land at the $275,000 value. And so the $13 million value is already on other parcels.
Sure.
So this is a huge correction.
Yeah.
And this involves this year and last year.
So to reduce their taxes.
So they didn't pay their taxes for last year on this parcel.
Okay. Because they were protesting.
Well, I think they had an idea. Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, they had an idea something was wrong.
Any others in here?
And then Mark Esposita, his land is up in Browns Hole. And we looked at that as well, and it's a side hill. And we had $1,000 per acre for the 40, well, no, it was $2,000 an acre for the 20 acre lots. And then we're just changed them back to what he requested. Well, they're 10 acre parcels at $2,000.
Okay. So he's got a number of lots up there.
He has two.
Okay.
Two 10 acre parcels.
These two parcels.
We're dropping them back to $20,000. And then we had 28 assessor corrections, or 18. I think there's 18. Yes, there's 18. That people asked us to correct for different reasons. Their valuations and their standing. So some went to Greenbelt and some went out of Greenbelt. Adjusted property lot values. So I don't know what that is, but so yes, we could run through those.
There's not There isn't one in here for the people there at the Bluff Fort, is there?
No, there's not.
The one I called
We already
out.
did that one before.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been done before. And then we had one final one from Randy Kelly where, and this is really important, people understand this, Christy Young had received a request from a company to buy her property, and at least my mom gets these as well, and probably a lot of people do. The request from a business to buy their property, but the valuation is so low, it's a fishing up. They're fishing for properties to sell. And she received one of these and thought her values should be dropped to this offer. And we're going like, no, this is down in down by Devil's Canyon, Brushy Terrace subdivision, or Canyon Terrace subdivision. And we said, no, just because you receive something in the mail doesn't make that your value. So we declined to change the value on that property.
Okay.
So that's
It.
that is it. Hopefully,
We make
forever.
a decision in Board of
Make a decision
Equalization
in Board of
and come out of it.
Yep.
So we have you've seen what he's presented. Somebody want to make a motion to approve these changes?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Sylvia,
I'll second.
second by Jamie. Further discussion, any? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Aye also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Do we have a motion to come out of Board of Equalization
And go into the local building authority.
and go into the local building authority?
Motion.
Motion by Jamie,
I'll have second.
second by Sylvia. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Rick.
Aye.
Aye also. Okay, now we're out of Board of Equalization. We're in our local building authority hearing.
So this is kind of new to the commissioners, other than Commissioner Adams. As we receive funding, especially from the CIB, we have to do all of our actions for CIB under the local building authority.
If we don't, we get a reduction in our PILT.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
That's why we do it
Yeah.
under the local
Okay.
building authority, is because those monies will be reduced. If we just do it as a county and not a local building authority, we'll get less in PILT.
And so we want more in built. but
Yeah.
Rather than less, we need the federal government to pay
Yep.
more of their tax share, not less. And so with that, this is just the notice of loan authorization and the terms for your approval, as well as approving me to continue forward with solicitation of bond counsel and all of the other solicitations that will be required, architect, contractor, things like that. But on here, we approached CIB and were awarded, authorized a $4,689,695 grant. Oh yeah, 4 million. Sorry, and then a $21,366,000 loan. And so we welcome the funds, whatever form they come, to help us in total with that remodel of the jail. And so we're ecstatic to get the funding in general. Super ecstatic that there's a grant portion on there, and then the 2% interest rate on the CIB loan, which is pretty unheard of in today's day and age with financing. And so we're excited for that. It'll be 30 principal installment payments that will come from this, but in total, we've got a $26 million, $55,695 in our ask, which is the total amount that we had asked for from the CIB. As a reminder, we approached the state legislature for 2 years to try to get this funding to help reduce the loan amount. We're unsuccessful with the state, but the CIB really did step up as a board and award us these funds, especially knowing that their funds also are being just as depleted as everybody else's funds. And so
Well, I had the opportunity to walk with you guys to beg for. We take
For
little
money.
cops begging for money at the legislature, and we had an incident.
Yeah. One
we
of the representatives.
we got an appointment, and Commissioner Adams said, "Follow me." And those stairs are very steep, and he take 3 steps and he's in the top. But me and Mac and were you there too?
Yeah.
Look at each other, and I started going for the elevator. So they found me in the elevator. We went up there, and the person that we went to beg money from, well, they gave us 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
3
We had to go to
minutes.
Committee. Yep.
And then they had a young man in the back. They said 30 seconds. I don't think he shook our hands or anything. He went back to the computer. We just thought that we knew that. Every time I saw him after that, I used to think about, oh man. But I think the kindest person is the one that respond to us. We had no way to get the money.
Yeah.
Because you guys been going year after year after year, and finding somebody who was honest, you're never gonna get it. Which it helped us decide not to waste time anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And one thing about the jail, when we think about this kind of money for the jail, it seems lots of money, but we have lots of issues that it can bring lawsuits the way the jail is right now. And another thing is an income. We make income. The better the facility is, the more that we can serve what is needed for, as far as having, I don't want to call it patient, whatever, custom.
We have a treatment program.
Yeah, treatment program and all that stuff. And there's possibilities of other things that probably could be incorporated. I haven't said anything to anybody, like possibly like a receiving center. I learned about receiving center is a place where maybe a person in that community, they needs a little bit of help. Instead of taking them to jail and that a record, they get help in this receiving center. And we went and toured one in Davis County. It's an amazing facility, and the success they have at turning somebody. Most of the people are addicted to drug or something, and sometimes they're kind of homeless and whatever. But amazing programs out there, and I think there is something that would be nice to have in San Juan County. Sometimes we get somebody down south called for an ambulance because they're for some reason, and they become more like a taxi driver, and then they have a place to go, so they take them to the hospital. And so that costs more money. So anyway, but I just want to, I don't want people to hear the figure and thinking, wow, they borrowed the money. The county have been trying for years, and I had the opportunity to accompany them this time and got to see it firsthand and I was glad when they told us, quit coming, you're not going to get it. So but not that way, but somehow they let us know. And we have to be appreciative. Commissioner Adams, he is, I'm sure he, the key why we got these funds, and he has served in the CIB how many years? And he is, aren't you the main person there? 15 years. And so sometimes we don't realize what serving for many years does. When Commissioner Adam, we can be in a dinner or something, I love to watch him. He take 2 steps and he's in this corner. I get a bite and he's over there. He knows how to contact people, and people, you can tell people respect him. All the other county commissioners respect him, and so it's we are appreciative of what he does because he has the ability to have the connections, and connections are important. And that's what sometimes I have people mention that probably we travel too much, but I am glad because I learn not to be afraid of talking to people, because lots of time we sit next to each other in meetings and you become familiar, and I think it's an amazing opportunity for us to go and get to know people and know, be able to invite them to come and get acquainted with San Juan County. Thank you.
Well, Sylvia and Jamie, and Mac, it's nice to have support. It's nice to be in a position where you can do something, but without support from you guys and have my back, it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So appreciate that, and really want to thank Mac for the good hard work he did preparing the CIB application. I think it was as timely as any application we've ever had at CIB. We try and go get that money right now, and you can't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't have the money. So it's great. So we need to authorize Mac to be the
Go-getter.
Chief Administrative Officer over this jail remodel.
Yep.
So do we have a motion to do that?
Yeah, motion.
Motion by Jamie,
A second.
second by Sylvia. All in favor say aye.
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 I also, and thank you, Sylvia, for those kind words. I appreciate that.
That's the truth.
Okay. All right.
Okay, now we've got to come out.
Motion
Now we
to
have
come out.
motion to come out of the building authority by Jamie,
I'll second.
second by Sylvia. All in favor say aye.
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 I also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
And I've got commission reports before we go and make a motion to go into executive session.
Okay, let's see,
We'll let you go first.
I just have a couple of things. I have a Northern Lake Powell workshop meeting on Zoom on Wednesday. I have a natural resource, and I'm sure the other two of you got that notice on on Thursday at 3:00 as well. Next Monday, I go to Green River for a Colorado River Advisory Committee meeting. We're going to go up and look at the Tusher Dam. And then Tuesday, I get to go with Elaine to visit the Mud Springs. Do I need to bring my mud boots? Okay. And on the 25th, I have a USIP board meeting in Salt Lake. That same day is a Navajo Mountain Road meeting in Salt Lake as well. I won't be able to attend that, Jamie. I'm hoping that you and Sylvia can attend that. And then I just have physical therapy and the dentist and the doctor's office in between all of these meetings because I'm just wearing out. Anyway, that's my report. Jamie, do you want to make one?
Sure. I think my first report is regarding the Navajo Utah Commission meeting that was held down in Denahoto, Arizona, last week on Tuesday. Grant Public Health came down with me and provided a report to the 7 elected chapters down south. The 7 elected elected officials from the chapters are from Tisnazbus, Aneth, Red Mesa, Mexican Water, Old Jato, Navajo Mountain, and a representative, I believe, from the trust fund who works closely with Blue Mountain, Danae. And they were very receptive of Grant's report and very happy to have him out. And I think some of the feedback that came from that meeting was just more presence for public education. A lot of the elected leaders were reporting on the increased diagnosis of COVID, and they wanted to have more public education resuming on being safe and being cautious about contracting the illness. I think the 6 feet, washing hands and such. And they had questions about the availability of the COVID immunizations and being able to access that. Um, let's see. Also, just in regards to a upcoming trip to DC that I've been requested to be part of. What I know is there's funding from the National Forest. They make payments. It's a program called Secure Rural Schools, and our county receives approximately 700 and I think it was 750,000. And I think they said we're the second biggest rural school to receive that funding. But that program has expired as of this year. And so everyone is kind of concerned about resuming that program and having those funds returned for the county. And so I think there's a big concerted effort to go back to DC to have conversations with the congressmen and encourage them to resume those payments, maybe extend those payments.
Jamie, when is that trip?
It is, I'm flying out on Sunday. The meetings will be Monday and Tuesday.
Of this next week?
Monday,
Yeah, you need
Tuesday.
to get back there before they shut the government down.
Yeah, for sure. And
Can't find a speaker to shut it down.
Yeah.
so hopefully we get to bend some ears in regards to how important those funds are for our county and our schools. So that's
I'm glad you're going.
the other second big thing. The third thing I think is our meetings with the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council. So far, we've had two meetings that have gone well, and we're extending we're trying to extend our invitation to Navajo Nation PD and Navajo Nation Public Safety. It will take some time, but we're working on some of the ask for the Utah legislature to strengthen our system here, our criminal justice system in our county, in regards to those who go through our criminal justice system, access to substance abuse treatment and other types of treatments, so that they're successful in getting their needs, mental health needs met, their treatment needs met. And so I think at this time, our biggest conversation is around data and being able to access some of the data in regards to the type of judgments that are being made, kind of highlighting how many different criminal needs there are for interventions and kind of working from that angle. I think everyone understands we all have our systems that we work with, but they don't connect. And so it's in regards to finding ways to bring those separate systems together so that they speak to illustrating the picture in our county and the needs that exist with all those who are involved with the criminal justice system. So I think as our group grows, we'll have more at the table to identify those needs. One of the things that I'm aware of is school resource officer for Whitehorse High School continues to be an escalating need from that school. Just having some presence in the school to help with the students feeling more safe and helping the staff there to be more effective as instructors. I think that's going to pressure our relationship with the tribe and mending the mutual assist agreement. Well, I don't think it was a mutual assist agreement, but it was an agreement between the county sheriffs and the Navajo Nation Public Safety to work collaboratively to not only do cross-deputization, but also provide a school resource officer with funds for the reservation schools. So I think that's another area that we will be putting into our purview to try and resolve and try and get some solutions going. Um, I think that's really my report. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, I appreciate that report, Jamie. I'm gonna add 3 things to my report
Okay.
today. First of all, during the eclipse, we had in the county trail stewards from Grand County that were here, and they were doing good things. They were encouraging people to take the trash out, clean up the trail, stay on the trail, those kind of things. But I'm concerned that we don't have any kind of a MOU with Grand County to have those people from Grand County in San Juan County. The concern is liability as much as anything. So I think we need to write Grand County a letter and ask for some kind of an MOU if they're going to have those stewards, trail stewards, come into the county and do work so that we aren't held liable if somebody gets hurt or whatever happens. It's just another
Precaution.
situation where Grand County wants to do things in San Juan County without our okay. So if you're okay with that, I'd like to see if Mac will send that letter. The second thing, I talked to David Hinkins on the phone over the weekend. Last week, I took the assignment for the Goulding's 100-year celebration and talked to him, and he thought if I get an appropriations request, we could get at least $100,000 to have a big celebration for the 100-year, kind of like they've done at the Golden Spike, they've done at Bryce Canyon, those kind of things. Elaine went down and talked to Goulding's and got a cool reception from them, but I think we can win them over with her bubbly spirit. And
We'll just bring the celebration to them. And
and the other thing that really surprised me that I was really tickled about, David Higgins told me that the Navajo Nation had committed $1 million to the new USU campus in Monument Valley.
Yeah,
And
they
he
did.
said that the funding for that is because of that commitment from Navajo Nation has really gone well, and it looks like that new USU campus is going to be
It's happening.
funded,
There is
through the state of Utah. So
the former USU president, the school president, she was very supportive. And last week,
yeah,
I got to meet the new one, and she even very excited, very approachable person, very excited to.
she's an engineer, isn't she?
Yeah. Anyway, so and she's
Anyway,
thinking about having an
So
engineer.
those are
Anyway,
3 things I just forgot to inform you about. So
Okay, we'll jump on those.
okay, so do we have a motion to go into closed session?
can I just do a quick report?
Huh?
Can I-
Oh, you have a report.
Yeah, I
Ah.
have a report.
Yeah. Could you just write it up and send it to us?
Yeah, if you can read it.
Go ahead.
First, I want to say, I am so excited to see our roads. Don't they look beautiful? Every place I go, we have UDOCs have done such a wonderful job. We don't have to avoid the holes, and it looks beautiful. It makes a county look so beautiful, all the new roads. Okay, I wear, as a commissioners, we have different assignment. There are lots of committees. One of my committees is the UTA, and I get to learn a lot about trains in Salt Lake City, but it's very, very interesting to me. Anyways, one of the assignments for me is working, I guess I should say, I'm not over, working with the community development. And so I have different things that me and Elaine kind of work with, and there's some things that I think about. And one of the things that I've been kind of thinking is about the future workers, future workforce, and because of that, I have some meeting with USU about different things we can do, especially in the new campus that's going to be next to the high school, and it'll be so nice to have different certificates and different things that we can do quick. I was talking with a young man that they bring program to ESU in the summertime, and I was telling him to the youth in the larger community, they have opportunity to work in places, and they learn how to use the cash register and do customer service. And so we were talking about having an opportunity to create something in the summertime when they bring 7th, 8th, and 9th grader to campus. Even do a fake kind of restaurant where they can get food counter permits and different things. And it was kind of exciting because this is a young man that went through this Native American organization. They give Native American scholarship. He has a master's degree. His wife became a dentist through the scholarship in the program, and they have many, many success stories. And so it's trying to develop, prepare our workforce for the future. Another one is housing. Housing is just
near the Las Vegas Convention Center.
Housing is the most important thing in a county because we cannot do anything if we don't have a place to live. Right now, Energy Fuel has opening for 35 workers. The Lisbon Valley, I think, have 45. I know that the senior center in Blondie need help, so we need workers. And if we and going and visiting with people at Energy Fuel this past week, they have a big dream, and it's an amazing dream, and I believe in that dream. I think it's going to happen, but we had to be prepared. We had to have the house. We had to take care of the people that we have now. We have several people that pile up in trailers, 2 or 3 families sometimes, and that's kind of something that had to ease up. I had been talking to Navajo Trust Fund, and Commissioner Harvey and I said in the Navajo Infrastructure Rehabilitation, Trust Fund, and we got to vote. And that doesn't sound exciting, but 7 houses, 1 for each chapter. And Elaine and I had gone to Old Jail to talk about how can we start getting houses. I was so excited, 7 each. They're gonna have 1 new house, and so that is kind of very important that we figure out how to learn how we can help down south to have home. They cannot get bank loan, even though some people own property. We had talked to the person that was in charge of the housing in the tribe, and people that have land and have bought a house through a bank, when the bank come and repossess the home, they repossess the land. So it's kind of there had to be some things work out to do that. Also, under the, I have with the 7 County Infrastructure Coalition, I have opportunity to work with working with the Navajo Mountain. Olchedo Road is one of our projects we have. Also, I wish I can tell you all the exciting things that can be happening, but some of the things we do behind closed doors. But they had come last week to San Juan County to come and see some of our needs. I know I got to visit with them, and Matt got to visit with them too. And it is nice that they travel to San Juan County to come and see what our needs are. And one of the things as far as a community, one thing that we need and is daycare. It's a crisis all over the nation, everywhere. It's a crisis, daycares. And they used to have a grant they were given to child care providers to help during the COVID. The grant ended, and now with the government being closed, we don't know if that's going to be renewed. And it makes it really hard for parents to go to work. And even if they have the money to pay, there's no center. And I had opportunity to create and work with childcare programs, and it's not an easy job because not many people like to do that kind of work. It's a work of love. And so, anyway, we have lots of opportunity to learn by serving those different committees, and I hope that we can keep the wheel going and making things happening, or keep making things happening. And
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to go into executive session to
Motion.
discuss pending or reasonably imminent litigation?
Motion.
Motion by Jamie,
I second.
second by Sylvia. All in favor say aye.
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 Also, that's 3 in favor, 0 opposed. We appreciate
Thank you for coming.
everybody coming.
Take some candy. There's some candy.
I think we're ready to go.
We're ready when you're ready.
Okay, you asked me to be here, Bruce. What do you want me to? I guess maybe